Ruth was barren, unable to conceive, which was a good thing as she would have been a useless and selfish mother. Her short husband was irrelevant. Her puppy dog, he did exactly what was asked of him. Ruth used to be a head teacher, but she should have chosen a more suitable career instead, like a bolt gun operator in an abattoir or a suicide terrorist. You can explore online Ruth's wrongdoings, stories about the lives of good teachers ruined, mixed with correspondence from angry parents demanding she was struck off, never to return to the education system. Ruth was a nasty snake, hiding behind the shield of religion. She would micromanage all staff instead of just letting them get on with the job. She would be pedantic about the slightest detail. She would undermine those that were passionate about teaching, making them doubt their own teaching abilities and sadly leaving their cherished teaching roles. Her last school was independently funded by the church. The panel of tired and old governors believed her good standing and never questioned her background. Her commitment to living for the love of God was more important than her abilities. In her time in her last school, the volume of children attended dropped from 500 to 200 in just over a year. Some parents were wise to her past and enrolled their young to better schools. Despite the parents' complaints, tears from frustrated and neglected students, and the emotional damage to teachers, the school funders and governors turned a blind eye. Emails and letters are so easy to ignore. Ruth's a God-fearing woman. She could do no wrong. Ruth manipulated many staff by payoffs, voluntary redundancy, and bullying. Her feeble intent to save money was wasteful and actually cost the school so much more. In the very end, the school, that was once a respected and thriving environment, had to be closed down. All because of Ruth, the poisonous snake. Everything was fine and dandy before Ruth was employed. The school used to be so wonderful and supportive. It was held in high regard by many grateful students, some living and some deceased. Roy, the head of the art department, was very resourceful and was the only teacher that stood up to Ruth. And following procedures and union guidance, it was actually his calm demeanour and patience that toppled her from her head teacher throne. Unfortunately, too little too late, the school had to close down just 13 weeks ago. Roy was furious at Ruth's actress confidence that made others blind to her lies. Roy actually received 19 letters posted by Ruth, content carefully created to intimidate and create anxiety. The whole of Roy's humiliating experience was watched, not by any teachers' union or supportive colleague. The school had a great history of talented pupils, many now long gone. It was the ones that loved the school when they were living many years ago that watched Roy through his ordeal. They supported him without Roy even knowing. And it was the wrath of these dead that delivered the karma back to the disgraced head. 13 weeks have passed since Ruth was removed from the education system, and you'll be pleased to know Roy's confidence is returning. Only yesterday, Ruth was travelling on the London Underground to meet her husband from work. Halfway during her journey, she needed to change trains, and at 17:13 hours, she slipped and fell from the platform. No one pushed her. The force of the tube train bumped into her shoulder, churning her body as if it was in a human blender, bashing bone, tearing skin and flesh with dirty metal. After what seemed an eternity, Ruth's chopped body scattered. Yet her severed head had enough battery life left for her to actually see the six-legged red demon smiling. Its huge red frame scuttling over the bleeding fragments of its kill. Its three large black eyes were like a shark's eyes, dead black. This demon had been briefed all about Ruth. Knowledge about its target made the brutal kill even more fulfilling. Bad things do happen to bad people. The dead have a special team of demons they can instruct at their leisure.